more importantly, the video game. Alright, so, as the title suggests, I have gotten my Headhunter, and I have not really played since the past weeks, because I was kind of done. I'm kind of feeling like, you know, the drive to play more Path of Exile is kind of gone. Not because League bad, which, by the way, I made a video, like I said, on the Daniel the Exile channel, if you want to check that out. So on Daniel the Exiled, I talked about pretty much my starter builds and how it developed, right? I mean, if you watched the VODs, you know about it. Hold up, I gotta activate my cheat codes. And you know how I started with Pyroclast Mines, then Exsanguinate Mines, and now, you know, we are Kinetic Blasting. Kinetic Blasting.
Sold something while you were gone.
Poggers. How much money? Yo, let's go, 3 divs! Money! Alright, cool. Actually, what was the 3 divs? That I'm wondering. Oh, the Phantom Boots. Nice. That's cool. Anyhow, so, I got myself the Headhunter. Rare and unique enemies within 120 meters have minimag icons. Doesn't matter. Brutally honest, I'm sorry, it really doesn't matter. Don't pay for it. It does not matter. You gotta kill anyways, everything, everywhere, and you gotta go through the map anyhow, so it doesn't really matter. Still, kind of neat, I guess, that this is now, you know, a special, unique you can have. And I'll happily have it forever. Then I think I also got new boots and changed a few things around, but major changes were, I think, fixing my resistances. Having slightly worse Chaos Res now, sadly. Kinda can't fix that. Unless maybe I get Progenesis, and then I, you know, I have uptime all the time of, you know, 35 Chaos Res. All the time. I got a little bit less movement speed now, because I had to, you know, swap things around. But better uptime of Onslaught, pretty much all the time as long as I kill, on top of Onslaught here. And then I think just... oh yeah, I think I'm not 100% Avoidance now. Right, there was also... right, that was, I think, the issue. What did I change again? I don't even know what I changed. Something changed. I think it's because of this. Because I think the necrotic armor that I need, which is I think another 20 divs, would then bring me up to, I think, again, 100% avoidance. And then I would be pretty good. Right, I think I had a void on my belt. Do I still have that belt? No, I did not. By the way,
I'll update that.
There you go. Yeah, anyway, I literally don't know how I don't have it anymore. It doesn't really matter. Either way, it could be like this right now. You know, not 100% avoidant, but at least, you know, I'm good when it comes to damage, tankiness, because, you know, if you're blasting with... You can actually see the rare right here, right? These are the rare icons now. And of course, it is beautiful Headhunter gameplay, so you just blast. I also realized I made a mistake. So if you're starting now, maybe, or if you still want to start the league, highly recommend you do. It's fun to just, you know, blast a little bit. I can definitely say not using discernment. So I used 3 ambush scarabs, and the one that makes it so it has increased effectiveness of explicit modifiers. That was, I think, a mistake. That was, I think, a mistake because it felt like I kind of left loot on the ground. Because the discernment... what is it? The discernment... scarab, just the chance that you get better strong boxes, instead of just raw amount, right? Instead of having way more strong boxes, you just say, hey, I want the better ones, the good ones, like the ornate strong boxes that drop currency, because that's what they're made to do. It's so much more worth. It's so much better if you do that. So I highly recommend, instead of going for more strong boxes, actually spend the 5 seconds or 5C each map, for example, to get strong boxes that are just, higher rarity and just objectively give more loot, because that's actually what you're here for, right? You want better loot. So I highly recommend you do that. This was one mistake, so I definitely left, like, that's why it took me, I think, so long compared to maybe others to get, get to my headhunter, right? Because I had to play way more, and that just takes time. Instead of going for one discernment, spend a little bit more per map, and then also being and making pretty much just more currency that way. So for example, there's another ornate. Good. That doesn't really matter. And I think that was it. Perfect. So, and we got one ultimatum scarab, so pretty good, I think. Pretty good. Yeah, 1.3 div right there. So we can do a few more. I think I'm just gonna do a few more just so you can see how it actually feels now with Headhunter. It is a whole lot better. I do have to say it is a whole. Well, I wouldn't say a whole lot better, but it's a good, decent bump in survivability, in damage, in just how the build feels. It's kind of crazy how much Headhunter changes this build just by having either bigger AoE, more projectiles and all that. It really changes. So that's great. That's great. That was weird. I think I got probably frozen there. It's a little bit of an issue, of course, now, not having 100% avoidance. So realistically, what I should probably do is go back to Brine King, but I really like Arakali now, because some of these like damage over time just becomes kind of a non-issue, which is really nice, of course. It's really nice. But again, if I would make a div now per map, which is probably not going to be the average, but now I can just blast. I wouldn't say I can blast maps faster, but I can just now run them with a higher difficulty. For example, I could do tier 17 maps. Maybe I'm gonna buy tier 17 map just to show how this is. But yeah, tier 17 was not really a big issue. I gotta say, it was a non-issue to me. You have to be a little bit careful not spamming, because I feel like the performance-wise, this build is very heavy. It's incredibly heavy. So highly recommend not just standing there and spamming it a billion times. So just go. Like, you pretty much, I just press down once and then leave it alone again. So, pretty much my way of playing this build. Spark players be like, wait, you don't hold the button all the time? Why would you do that? That's pretty much that. Again, I think the maps didn't become faster. I think they're still around the 2-minute mark. But because you can now up the difficulty a little bit, I think I was also able to get rid of a few, maybe, I think I was able to make my regex less strict. But also, maybe realistically would be now having Headhunter is to just go straight up to... We can do Ritual for once. Realistically, maybe it would make a whole lot more sense going tier 17 maps, because it is just objectively more profitable, right? So maybe that, or tier 16.5 maps, who knows? Would be kind of interesting to see. Yeah, so being frozen again is kind of funny now. Yeah, that might have to actually go back to Brine King just temporarily, just to solve that issue. But again, if I would farm tier 17 maps like this, pretty much like candy. You probably gotta make enough money anyways in a day to get your necrotic armor. I can imagine that. It's not gonna be that difficult. So what are the next big upgrades actually for this build? Which, by the way, this is sadly the last stream. I'm not gonna stream more PoE after this. I feel like I'm kind of done. Maybe I'm gonna do some offline stuff for YouTube. Who knows? But PoE 2 is literally around the corner, so I don't know how much more time I really want to use there. I feel like I was kind of lazy with making content for this league anyways. So, I mean, there was also Silk Song and, you know, the main channel video that I now put out. Finally, it's out of my head. Get out of my head! That's good. Might do. Who knows? We'll see. It would be nice if I could say, oh, you know, Christmas I'm gonna put out a new main channel. Sorry, a new free-to-play video. That would be kind of, I think, cool. But it's difficult. It's tough. What do we have here? Probably something bad. All right, next. Actually, hold up. That might be worth something, right? There you go. You're welcome. I don't even know if that worked. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, you can see it's pretty fast to just go through these maps. Yeah, my latency is 26. That's fine. But if you were wondering, because I was mentioning it earlier with Proton VPN and everything and using a VPN and playing games, I'm totally fine with it. But yes, of course, you will have objectively more latency than before if you use a VPN and play games. That it will be like this. But now having, you know, switched it, that it's split tunneling, I now have, you know, a better ping. And I can actually feel it. I can definitely feel it. Because usually I think I had around the 50 ms part with the VPN install. So that's noticeable, of course, right? 50 ms is... man, I'm big right now. Brrr. It's kind of funny. I do have to say, it feels gosh darn good sometimes becoming just an absolute giga tank like this and just literally not caring about anything. Until I get one shot, of course. Then I'm mad again. But yeah, it's like the beauty of Headhunter is that you become just an absolute tank. It's kind of crazy. Perfect. There's nothing here. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know. Probably just ignore them. To be fair, the great part about breaches, there's so many rare monsters. It's actually kind of crazy. Quickly do that. By the way, cheers. A little bit. That's not the heavy belt I need. That is not the heavy belt I need. Do this one as well, because why not? I think they're actually spawning over there. Ancient Womb Gift. I don't think they did any major changes, right, to how loot drops with this. I don't think they made any major changes, so it's just, it will be like this. So, 3 Chaos Orbs, 13 Strength. Interesting. Sure, why not? I'm actually going to be very curious right now. If I put this up at like 100 Chaos, will this actually sell? We'll see. So let's do one last tier 16 map, and then we can do one tier 17. And maybe I'll die, but when I did this, I was literally a non-issue. Tier 17 map was pretty much this, maybe a little bit slower, yeah. And did I do the boss? No, I did not do the boss. No, I did not do the boss. Sorry, yes. So, it's, yeah, I'm someone who just does tier 17 maps without actually doing the boss. I am this way. Because not every build can do the boss well. And at that point, if you can do the boss, your build is anyways gosh darn insane. And I kind of like the idea of going tier 17s, but yeah, not being able to do it yet. No. I mean, there's a pretty big increase in difficulty with tier 17 maps. It's difficult to get there, like by just farming tier 16 maps sometimes, at least to me. Nice. Pretty good, pretty good. Another Arcanist. I got a basic one. Do it again. Freezes you when you're naughty. The great part about Extra Headhunter, it sometimes didn't freeze me, probably because I had the whole, you know, there was probably a Headhunter buff that protected me. Kind of nice. Kind of nice that that's actually possible. Holy heck, my guy. Boy, oh boy. Phasing is kind of mandatory sometimes in this game. Hello. That's pretty much that. Again, 2 minutes, you know, in and out, and you rinse and repeat that over and over. But how much is that? That's 10C. That's fine. You know, keep in mind, my filters are incredibly strict, right? So if you're wondering why is there barely any loot, because my filter is brutally strict. So now I'm kind of curious about tier 17 maps, and I think I want the, I think it's the Fortress map, right? Yeah. It's also weird how it still says unmodifiable, even though we all know it's not. It's only 25C for the Fortress map. Right, it's actually one of the cheapest ones. Probably because it's being bought in bulk.
But the exchange went well enough.
The treasurer. So I do need my regex now. Holy moly, that's one hell of a regex, boys. Brut, brut. It's pretty big. It's unmodifiable. It's corrupted. I swear to God. Who corrupted this? I always forget there's uncorrupted as well. My bad. The more you know. The more you know. Literally throwing money down the drain.
Went well enough.
I always forget about that. The problem when you're not used to a mechanic. You're like, oh wait, I think I did something wrong. So we have, players have less attack speed, less cast speed, less move, players minions, which is fine. Unique bosses are possessed, that is pretty nasty, but I guess we'll have to deal with it. Players are cursed with enfeeble, which is also pretty bad, cause less damage. But, you know, we'll see how this goes. And now, you know, I keep pretty much the same setup. I think I also keep the same... Yes, I also keep this. Mostly because, you know, I want more scarabs, I want more things, and I have none of the extra map drops, right? Technically, what one could do, if you... I think in SSF, I would definitely need to use at least 2 Atlas skill trees. Maybe even a third one for something specific, like maybe for boss-related things. But in SSF, I will definitely have some sort of like Atlas skill tree 1, where I go full, you know, map drops, pretty much this, you could actually say, and go full-on maps, just a bunch of maps to have tier 17 maps, and then go the other route, right, where I go full scarab, full blasting, full currency. for example. But I think I would also have to play completely different League mechanics. I would be forced to play different League mechanics. But yeah, same skill tree, same things. Again, 3 ambush scarabs, 1 potency, and 1 discernment. Highly recommend if you haven't done tier 17 map yet, to just go 2 ambush scarabs, 1 potency, and 1 discernment, and then your tier 16 map. It really isn't worth pumping more strong boxes into your map when each strong box can just be worse, and this just are more likely to be rare varieties. I don't actually know the chance of like this thing, but it's pretty significant. Like, it's really significant. You find more ornate strong boxes than ever before, right? Because that's the whole point of it. But the beauty of this is each ornate strongbox drops currency, and it can very likely be Divine Orb. Then it duplicates it. Valdo Puzzle Box, boom, it's duplicated. Even if it's just an Exalted Orb, it duplicates it. Like, an Exalted Orb is like 10C each, right? Hold up, I have that. I want Exalted Orb. It's 11C, right? And it duplicates it, boom, it's 23C. It's still something. And you made pretty much your money back 3 times over, pretty much, right? Or at least 2 times over, right? You paid 1 discernment for 7C and got maybe 1 exalted orb out of it. Money is already in, and then it duplicates itself, and boom, you're already like, it's like impossible, I think, to lose money. I didn't do that though. I just went with Ross ambush scarabs and potency. Again, discernment is 7C each, and if you're barely struggling with like 10C every time, it's a little bit annoying. I get it, but yeah, that was definitely my mistake. I should have actually spent more money on my maps early on, especially ambush, because ambush is always worth it. It's just, it has never failed me in the past 6 leagues or something. Or let's say 4 leagues. It has never failed me. So, love that. Good. Let's run this and see how it goes. I can actually like maybe up the music a little bit. It's gonna be interesting how this is. I don't think I'm gonna like easily defeat the boss though. This is usually my usually where I start failing. Nice. Also pretty good. I can also see maybe having the... you can open it multiple times can also be probably really darn good here. Because if you then have an ornate strongbox and you can open it like 3-4 times, like that's kind of worth it, right? Thankfully with Kinetic Blast you can just pretty much pre-shoot into any direction. The beauty of it. Lightning Storm is a little bit scary. Gotta be a bit careful there. I actually am doing the sometimes the breach mechanic here. I mean, I only did like once one of these, and it was kind of fun doing the breach mechanic here. I don't know, like I then got the excitement of like, oh, it's risky. It could be worth more. I don't know, just mentally I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do this here. It's kind of fun. Gotta be a bit careful because these big explosions can hurt quite a bit. The minimap icons, I do have to say, is a little bit good right now, because I can just pretty much look where the rare enemies are and go to them. On the other side, it's also like I have to go there anyways for the strong boxes. So, is there really such a big difference? Who knows? I don't think so. Hello. Hello, memory map. Or originator map. That was a sick sound effect there. I love it. Pretty sure I'm running out. I'm probably not getting more headhunter buffs here. That's my guess right now. Probably running out of them. So I don't think there's gonna be anything over here. There's some stuff over there. Yeah, we can still take a look. I definitely feel that 15% movement speed that I don't have anymore now. I sadly feel it, yeah. It's a shame, but yeah. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Hello. Love me some. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna take this. I don't think my build is strong enough with like not enough headhunter buffs to defeat the boss. I really don't think so. But you know the beauty of it? This spawns rare mobs. This mechanic. So, I can pretty much just stand here now. Hopefully get some buffs again. We'll see about that. Yeah, see, getting a few headhunter buffs. Not a lot, but still, some of them. The Headhunter Teleportation, classic. Sweet. Okay. Getting a few things. Not that much. So now we have 17, so better than nothing. But they're probably running out as we speak. So let's see how this goes. Problem is he is possessed. So that's a bit scary. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought. Actually, increased AoE is also really bad in this map, so I probably shouldn't do that. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm like, it's really not worth fighting the boss, in my opinion, until I just absolutely annihilate it. Because now I lost XP, which is bad. I pretty much wasted another minute or maybe two fighting the boss, right? Really trying my best, like really dodging, really moving around, and really being like, I want to fight this boss. This is fine if it's gonna be a battle. But then you fucking die. So now you lost 10% XP and 2-3 minutes that you could have done the next tier 17 map to get, 23 chaos right now, raw chaos. Scarab of Adversity, that's nothing. That's 4C, 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 4C. All just 4C. Yeah, Legion Scarab is a little bit more. Sulfite is probably nothing. This is 9C. So, in total, I maybe made my money back. If I sold this is another 17, maybe 15C. Could also be money. So, I would say this is maybe on the low end. And I do have to say, it's kind of well balanced. Because doing this strat, you might lose money if you get unlucky for a longer period of time running tier 17 maps if you don't do the boss. Which I don't, right? I would literally go into a tier 17 map and then frick the heck out. I do not care about the fragments. Yes, they can be worth a lot, but if it costs me 6 portals per boss and I lose all the XP and another 10 minutes of my life, I just run the next tier 17 map, because keep in mind, this was only 4 minutes 30, and this was with the breach mechanic, which you could also skip. So let's say it's 3 minute 45, right? So that's pretty fine for 3 minutes 45. But then I'm also like, but yeah, you could also just do tier 16 maps, and it would be safer and faster. So I'm always like on the, yeah, but why? Why would I want to do tier 17 maps? It's difficult. It's really difficult for me to say. Objectively, it has like increased, more currency, more scarabs, whatever. I haven't even looked at the modifier right now that it actually has more currency. Again, this is just like one step more micromanagey where I'm just like, yeah, I don't really care about that stuff. I'm just gonna run the map. I probably should look at it, but that's just, my mental capacity where I'm like I'm going up to this spot and not further. I'm good with that, right? Some other people might have, I don't know, a much less strict filter because they can just absorb every drop on the ground easily and instantly realize what that is good for and how they could use, like, they see probably a base item drop with a certain synthesis mod and instantly know how to craft it into like a 20 div item. Poggers if you're that. I filter it the frick out, because in the end, if it costs me time and effort to figure that one out, I could have run probably the next 50 tier 16 maps and also made 20 divs. So, either way, everyone has their limit. To be fair, I don't think I can run. I actually don't know what my limit is and how quickly I can run a map. I mean, you can calculate it. Let's round it up. 3 minutes per tier 16 map. That is 10 in 30 minutes, 20 in an hour. Worst case, by the way. Okay, maybe I could actually do 15 2 hours. Seems possible. Seems possible. Good. Oh yeah, I can actually just pretty much put them here. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna put that here. And we do, let's do 16C, see if it sells. Yeah. And that's pretty much the build. That's pretty much the build right now. The only major upgrades that this build, I mean, there are probably many upgrades you could still have, from probably better cluster jewels to Nimbus, obviously, Progenesis, obviously, to probably like an absolutely disgusting wand, like disgusting. But then we're getting to like the moment I read 200 plus divs per item, I'm like, okay, bro, like I don't know how to get there, right? That's just so far beyond what I can achieve, and that's fine. I can probably upgrade like smaller things, like maybe getting another. I don't even know if the +1 doesn't even matter, to be honest. So, if I'm really happy with this amulet, if I'm really happy with this amulet, so that's a decent amulet. Tier 1 lightning damage attacks, Tier 1 life, elemental damage with attacks, intelligence, cold ras. I'm really happy with that. I'm not quite sure if that's the best suffix, but that's fine. Yeah, really happy with this build. Glad I played it, because it is just a really solid build. Kinetic blast, just literally blasting. And also this armor is good. I like this. I feel cool. I don't know if it's better than the shape one though. But anything that floats is pretty sick in games, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest.